Welcome to this short video introducing the Box+Dice app. The Box+Dice app can be used on any Android or iOS-based device, being a phone or tablet. To access the app, just go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, carry out a search for Box+Dice and install the app. You'll need your Box+Dice username and password to log in. The Box+Dice app is a pared-down version of the full Box+Dice system. It has been designed to enable salespeople to access all of the functions that they'll need out on the road without including all of the heavy features of the Box+Dice system, such as trust accounting, web portal loading, and listings and sales management. Functions you'll find within the Box+Dice app include the ability to look up listings, record buyers at an open home against a listing, send them contracts of sale or other documentation, communicate with buyers in bulk or individually by both email and SMS, manage your tasks, view, add and update all contacts within the system, and record appraisals against contacts and properties. When you first log into the Box+Dice app, I'd encourage you to go to the Settings option on the bottom right-hand corner of the menu. Select the App Settings function and choose whether you would like the autocorrect function turned on or off within the app. Many agents find it useful to turn off the autocorrect function so that when they are typing in buyers' names, their phone doesn't try to autocorrect the name and save incorrect details. This function will only affect the Box+Dice app, so if you do have autocorrect turned on within your phone like normal, it won't be affected. Once you've selected your app autocorrect functions, select the back button on the top left-hand corner and choose the Properties menu item. Within the Properties screen, you'll see all properties within the Box+Dice system. To filter these properties, select the blue filter option on the top right-hand corner. Within the filtering section, you can sort by either inspection, distance to the property, or the last viewed properties, as well as properties which either yourself are linked to, consultants within your office are linked to, or all offices' listings. You can also choose to view just appraisals, listings, or sales, or any combination of these. In addition to these filtering options, you can also filter via a number of other options, including suburb, price, and various other property attributes. Just click onto the Apply Filters option to view the search results. Select a property to view the listing details. On the property listing details, you'll see first of all the photos of the property will appear. If you click onto the photos, it will bring them into a full screen mode, which if you swivel your phone, will expand to the full width of your phone. This can be helpful for showing these listings to buyers at a property when you are perhaps referring a buyer to another listing. Click on the Close button and it will bring you back to the listing screen. You'll also see information like the display price, the type of property, method of sale, bed bath cars, detailed copy, the map location, how many buyers have inspected the property, any upcoming inspections, any property notes, the vendor and the ability to contact the vendor, as well as the agents and the ability to contact those agents. Please note that you'll only see vendor contact details where you are an agent who is listed on that particular listing. Next, we'll look at how to record buyers at an open home against a property. On an individual property, you can access the buyer register from 3 different areas. The first is to click on the 3 dots on the top right-hand corner and select the buyers option. Alternatively, back on the listing, you can click through to the buyer register by clicking on the number of buyers. Or the third option is from the main listing search results page, click onto the number of buyers just beneath the listing. To add a buyer to the buyer register, click into the Add Buyers field and carry out a search. You can search by either name or mobile number. Mobile number does tend to be the best thing to use though, as it will provide unique results for buyers and avoid the likelihood of having multiple potential matching buyers. When you search by the mobile number or name, any matching results will appear. If you see the matching contact, select their name to add them to the buyer register, or alternatively, click on to the Create a New Buyer using whatever the criteria is that you have used field. When you look at a buyer, there are a number of options available. Firstly, up the top of the screen, you will see a check-in button. If you select the check-in button, this may do one of two things depending on your system setup. It's possible to have your system set up so that when you click onto the check-in option, an SMS is automatically sent to the buyer with details about the property and your own contact details merged in. This is not a default setting though, so check with your office to see if this has been turned on in your system. If it has not been turned on, or even if it has been turned on, clicking onto the check-in option will also link this buyer to the most recent inspection. Next to the check-in option, you'll see that there is a thumbs up, thumbs down, and question mark option. These correlate with the buyer register fields of buyer in, buyer out, and buyer maybe. They're used to indicate the buyer's interest in the property. If you notice that the buyer looks interested in the property, click onto the thumbs up option, or alternatively thumbs down or question mark according to their interest level. As we move further down the buyer page, you'll see that next to the mobile number, there is an option with a phone and also a little speech bubble. The phone icon allows you to make an outgoing phone call to the buyer. The speech bubble will give you the option to write a text message to the buyer. Any phone calls you make from the Box+Dice app will give you the ability to record a notation against that buyer when you hang up your phone call. Any SMSs sent will use the Box+Dice SMSing function and credit system, and again will record a copy of that SMS sent against the buyer. Below that we have any other contact details like business phone and home phone numbers, and again the phone symbol next to it allowing you to make an outgoing call. Next to an email address, you'll see that there is a little envelope icon. This allows you to send an email directly to the buyer. When you click onto the email icon, you'll see that the email will come pre-formatted with details about the property. You can also write your own personalised message here as well. If there are any documents attached to the property in Box+Dice, such as the contract of sale or statement of information, click onto the little upward-facing arrow on the right-hand side next to attachments and select any documents that do appear. In my example here, I don't have any appearing, so there are no documents to select. When you click onto send, the email will be sent to the buyer directly from your Box+Dice email address, and again will be recorded against the contact in Box+Dice. One of the key benefits of sending your emails directly through the app or through Box+Dice is that you will be able to see if the buyer has read the email as well. As we scroll further down the buyer's page, you'll see that it will show you any properties that they own. It will also give the ability to create a task, an appraisal, or mark them as the purchaser of the property. You can also see which categories they are attached to, as well as add them to new categories by clicking onto the My Categories section. You can see it's a very easy function of just selecting or deselecting the categories and saving. You'll also be able to see any categories that other consultants may have against this contact. Take note of this because obviously if you see categories such as potential vendor types of categories, you'll know that this particular buyer is already dealing with someone else within your network. As you scroll down, you'll also see the ability to add in a notation about the buyer. So you may add in some notes like likes the property, wants a second inspection, and also the ability to mark the note as confidential. If you mark a note as confidential, it will stop it from appearing on a vendor report generated from Box+Dice, but will still record it against the buyer. This is suitable for notes like they have a property to sell. Click on to save and the note is added. You'll also be able to see any inspection times they've attended for this particular property, as well as any other properties they may have inspected. Again, when you're working in a group like hockingstuart where you have multiple offices all in the one database, this is a great tool to see which buyers are dealing with different listings from different offices. To add more buyers to the property, select the back button on the top left-hand corner, carry out a search for the next buyer, and continue adding them to the property. At the end of the inspection, you may want to send out an email or SMS to multiple buyers. To do that, select the option called Select Buyers up the top of the screen, choose the buyers who you want to contact, and choose the email or SMS function at the bottom of the screen. To send a summary report to the vendor, select the Vendor Report button on the top right-hand corner. A pre-formatted email will appear with all the property details and a summary of the buyers who have inspected the property. It will also give information about the number of attendees who are interested, might be interested or weren't interested, and the dates when they inspected the home. This summary is not intended to replace your full vendor report, so when you do your buyer callbacks, you'll put that detailed information into the Box+Dice system and generate the full vendor report from the system at that time. You can write some additional information at the top of your email here and also attach any documentation if needed. Click on to send and the email will be sent to the vendor. Next, we'll look at the Tasks and Appointments screen. Click onto the Cancel button and select Tasks on the main menu. The Tasks and Appointments screen will show you all of your tasks and gives you various filtering options. You can search using subject of the actual task. You can search by the due date, including tasks that are due today, tomorrow, the current week or next week. You can also filter and view tasks which have been completed or those which are incomplete. Up the top right-hand corner, you can add a brand new task and pop in details such as the subject, a due date and time, contact, property, any notations, and the type of task. If you choose to set a reminder against a task, note that you'll be sent an email at that time reminding you to complete that task. If you're logged into Box+Dice, you'll also get a pop-up reminder on the screen. To complete a task, click onto the task and either make the outgoing phone call, SMS, or email. Most of the time when you complete a task, there's some additional follow-up that should happen after that, touching base with the client so that the communication continues. Because of that, most people will use the complete task with follow-up option. Select that option and the screen will give you a date picker for when your next follow-up task will be. Select a date, pop in some notations about what was completed on that task, and select Save. The completed task will be recorded against the contact and an entire copy of this task will be scheduled for the due date that you set for following up. As you can see, it's a very quick and easy way of getting your tasks completed for managing your database from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. The Appointments tab will show you all of your upcoming appointments within Box+Dice. Note that you can have your Box+Dice appointments sent as calendar invites to your Outlook calendar using iCal calendar invites. This is set up via the main Box+Dice system. If you're unsure of how to do this, just speak with the champion in your office. The last section we'll look at today is the Contacts menu. Click onto the Contacts icon and you'll be greeted with all of the contacts in the Box+Dice system. You can search by name, mobile number or email address. Select the contact and you'll be greeted with all of their contact details. Similar to how we saw against a buyer, you can make an outgoing phone call, SMS, or email to the contact. When you select the email icon, you will also now be given the option to suggest other listings to the contact. When you select this option and choose Add Listing, you'll see all the listings within the Box+Dice system. You can search by address or just scroll through the results to select the listings that you want to send to the contact. Keep adding additional listings, and when you're ready to send, click on to confirm. Preview the email that you're about to send to the contact, and if you're happy with it, click on to send. On the contact screen, you can also create a task. You can create an appraisal. You can again manage your categories. You can view the categories that other consultants have against the contact, any notes that have been recorded against the contact, and also the timeline of events, which will include all of the correspondence as well as any properties they have inspected, listed, or bought. That brings us to the end of the Box+Dice app training session. Please feel free to view any of the other recorded webinars on the Hockingstuart intranet.